Welcome back, everyone, to another 2H Media Shopify AMA. My name is Matthew, coming to you live from Guelph, Ontario, Canada. So, blue skies, there's leaves on the trees, it's starting to feel like summer. We are going to get into, my phone is ringing. We are going to get into all things branding and conversion stuff today. Cool. In the chat, I will be putting in links to the Shopify AMA board. If you've got questions, comments, concerns, you can upload any of your burning questions there. I will get into the very first one here in a second. Right on. The first one is from Feature D. Hi, we work with local artists to sell their pieces using print on demand, mugs, hats, tees, and prints. How should we weave our causes, mental health, and animal rescue into our branding strategy? We'd love to make it speak to like-minded people or raise awareness, and ultimately, it should be motivating people to check out with a sense of being responsible for what could have been done better, for what we could have been done better. Okay, very good question. Great. This is essentially affiliate marketing here. We're tying our products to artists and social causes. So great. There should be a little bit of collaboration between you and the artist. And I'm going to buy a little bit, I mean a lot of it. So many cross posts, lots of cross promoting on social media, lots of cross promoting through email. Essentially, it is, in our world, it would be considered like a drop. You're dropping a new set of content into your store. So artist A, and they've done a bunch of art around a specific cause. Okay, cool, and now that's available on the print-on-demand products. Cool. I need all of the actual marketing and awareness to go out with that. So it's just like why we chose to get involved with this person. Why is it impactful into the community? Who's backing it? Can I raise some awareness on where the dollars or funding goes around these mental health and animal rescue causes? Why is this such in demand? Is there any hashtags tied to that information? Who on the local government side of things is championing these initiatives? I want to get all of those people in the mix, especially if we're like basing our product on top of someone else's cause, art, mission. That's a lot of work. I don't want to like understate that at all. That's a lot of work to do. It's much simpler when there's not like a social cause to it. So if it's just like, hey, I've got a food truck and you make beer, I'm gonna bring my like taco truck to the place where you make beer, and I don't need to like give people any more explanation than like beer goes good with tacos. Great, that's easy. When it's like a social cause or we're actually like building on top of art's very subjective. I need to do a much better job of actually communicating that. It's a lot more video. And essentially you have to lay out the why. Why are we doing this? We can't do one of these every 2 days because there would be no consistency. So it needs to be a specific length of campaign. That drop needs to be available. The artists need to be involved. The people that are actually running the causes need to be involved. So if you put this in perspective, in where I live, Tim Hortons, one of the largest franchises in Canada, Tim Hortons, they sell coffee and donuts. They do a smile cookie. And great, you can go buy a smile cookie, and great, it's exactly what it is. It's a cookie with a smile on it, and they're raising money for like kids camps or kids activities, great. And they're gonna raise whatever, $5 million. Let's just say they raise $5 million. They spend like $10 million in advertising to raise $5 million in donations through these smile cookies. They put that much out there to highlight the social cause, to highlight the need, to highlight the impact. Like it's big. It's big news. There's a whole bunch of businesses that Bell Let's Talk Day. There's a whole bunch of businesses that do that tie their products into social causes, and sometimes it's mixed with art or food or something like that. But like the marketing has to be very, very, very upfront, and the communication needs to be very high. So how should you weave into your causes? Explaining the importance over and over and over again, showing off the results. So it's like, great, for every dollar raised, X and Y goes here. This means that someone gets, a school, whatever that happens to be. It's another pet getting spayed or neutered, or if we're able to, house something else, great. We need to explain that over and over and over again. So yes, at the end of the day, you're selling print-on-demand products, but essentially you're kind of in the marketing space where it's like, the way I sell print-on-demand products is through active marketing. I partner with an artist. That artist is going to have a whole bunch of art. It's going to get tied to a mental health initiative or a cause. I need to go and explain that over and over and over again. I need to get in people's faces. I need to make sure that people care about it. I need to collect feedback. It's a lot of work. Very, very active. So that goes far beyond like, hey, how do I get like my landing page on my product page set up right? They're probably are going to be ready to buy because they've already seen your content out in the world, whether that be TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, YouTube, pick the platform. But they're already probably going to be familiar with the artist, because people don't buy art they don't like. So like right off the hop, no one buys art they hate. They don't even look at it a second time. Hey, not for me. So if they already like the art, great. And now if I can say, hey, I can get it on a pillow or a coaster or a coffee cup or something like that, awesome. So I really need to collaborate with that artist big time. And then I need to show off why that social cause is really, really, really important to you. So a lot of work to be done there. It's a lot of work. The print-on-demand stuff, easy to do. Real easy. It's making people care. That's the hard bit. So, but great question. Good question. The brass tacks, you need to explain the why over and over and over and over again, and I need to show off the art. Cool? But great question, yeah. The why. The why is very important. Next one. Okay, this is more of a conversion rate question, which is totally fine. Right on. Cal Pro Sports. Good question, Cal Pro Sports. I'm getting what I feel like is a fair amount of traffic, but no sales, and having difficulty making sure more branding and marketing all align. How do I create a consistency across those touch points? Okay, this is like a question that I have to answer like once a week. Okay, great. Traffic comes from everywhere. Traffic can come from anywhere. We get traffic. We get traffic from a whole bunch of markets that we don't even service. Great. We offer our we don't even offer things in the languages from where we get this traffic from. So the first thing we need to understand is we get a lot of traffic. Is the traffic good? That should be coming out of your reporting data between a mix of Google, any social media platform you're on. So like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, any of that, Pinterest, whatever it is, great. The social data, as well as Shopify. So we have Google, we've got the socials, and then we've got Shopify, the platform. Cool. That data needs to actually talk to one another. So where did the traffic come from? What were the keywords that were used to actually find you? If you were running ads, what campaign led them to this site? Cool. So all of that stuff that happens before they get to the website. So the pre-website traffic, the search terms, what websites they were viewing, where they're coming from, all of that information needs to be looked at. And then once they're on the site, once they're on Shopify, what pages are they looking at? How much scroll depth there is, what buttons they're clicking and whatnot, all of that stuff. Where do they stop in their process? How many times do they revisit? All of that needs to work together. That's like bread and butter website analytics. Great. If you've got that information, we would be able to tell, great, there are 1,000 users. There's 1,000 users a month. Those 1,000 users create 1,500 unique sessions. So great, there's a little bit of people coming back. They look at these top 3 products. They read 20% down the page. They either like it or they don't like it. We can start making very educated guesses around what's preventing them from going to the next step if the traffic is good. If the traffic is not good, we're going to end up going, okay, great. I'll explain bounce rate. So a bounce rate happens all the time. I'm scrolling through YouTube Shorts or whatever I'm doing, and I click a button, but I didn't mean to click a button, and now I'm on someone's website, and I hit the back button right away. Boom. Like, I didn't want to go there. I wanted to scroll down, and I accidentally tapped. That's a bounce. I went to your site. It will register as a new user. I was there, but I was not interested. I made a mistake. That happens a ton of time, tons of times. The other side is someone can go to your website and not like what they look at. So great, they're going to scroll. They're going to be on the site for like 10 seconds. They're going to be like, oh, what is this? This was misleading from what I saw. I don't like it. The image that I saw on Instagram doesn't match the stuff I'm seeing now, and I'm going to leave, but I've made no positive interaction with the site. That's also a bounce. So great, that fair amount of traffic might just be completely unrelated to you. If that's coming through your paid efforts, that's really, really bad because you're paying for people that aren't interested, so your ads targeting is incorrect. On the organic side, it still can be a problem, but at least you're not paying for it. At least you're not, a credit card hooked up to the problem. But it starts with understanding the data. Understanding the data is absolutely where we start. Google's got some cool tools that allow you to do this, to track button clicks. All of that stuff is free. So all of the technologies behind that. So like you're already paying for a Shopify subscription. Google Analytics is free. Google Search Console is free. Google Tag Manager is free. Google Merchant Center is free. Google Business Profile is free. And then they just rebranded. It's called Google Data Studio now, formerly Looker Studio. And it is essentially a dashboarding tool that brings all of this data into one place that you can actually make sense of it. There's a little bit of setup there, but like that's what you should have. Every small business owner should have a mixture of where the website traffic is coming from, mixed with website data and sales data from Shopify. Like that, those two things have to go hand in hand. If they're not talking to each other, we will have what we seem to be a fair amount of traffic, but we have no idea why, if it is good, and why are they not buying, and if they're not buying, where do they stop? Where do they stop in your website? Do they see something and leave? Was there a button? Like, what was the problem? Is there not a CTA high enough on the page? Is the above the fold content not compelling enough? Great. Was it price? Was it something at checkout? So great. That's the first thing. I feel like that would be the first thing. The data must happen. It is not, most of these platforms are not retroactive, meaning if you don't have Google Search Console hooked up, you can't go back in time and get the data. You can't go back like, oh, where was I ranking 3 months ago, but I got my Search Console working today? No, you get the data starting the day the technology is implemented. So like, I'd rather you have it now. I'd rather have it 30 years ago, but if you don't have it 30 years ago, you got to get on it. Once it's on it, there's no additional costs. You don't have to, again, there's no credit card fee or anything like that. You just need to make sure you have the data so that when you actually have questions like this, they end up getting answered. So good question. Very, very similar question. Very, very similar question. This is from KJax677. I just opened my Shopify and I have a lot of traffic but no sales. Are there any apps that I can use to get more sales? I have over 100,000 sessions with very few sales. Okay. This is like a super common misconception. Apps are tools. They're tools, right? So if you think like traditional, you're an electrician and you're diagnosing the problem and you've got your service van and you've got all the tools in the van, the goal is to identify the problem before you pick the tool. Apps are tools. So like, great. Oh, I need something to like, I want to show off my social proof. Great, I'm going to look for a review app. I'm going to look for something that is going to highlight my reviews. Oh, I want to start doing email marketing. I need to sign up. So I've identified the problem first or the opportunity, and now I'm going into my tool bag. We don't jump to the tool bag. We don't jump to the apps. There are like a zillion apps. There's a zillion apps, and there's no like app that is going to be like, oh, if only I had this app, it gets me the sales. No. We have to figure out, first off, why the traffic isn't converting. Why is the traffic not buying? It is not an app problem. It's not a tool problem. Shopify, in of itself, is usually enough. Shopify handles the payment. It's going to handle all the inventory tracking. It's going to handle the ship. Shopify is the tool. So great. You have over 100K sessions with very few sales. Great. It was the same as my previous answer. We need to determine where those sessions are coming from and why they're not choosing to buy. The traffic could all be spam for all we know. We don't jump into the tool bag until we've actually identified there's a problem. Big time. Okay? So I would go back and I would say, great, where's the traffic coming from? Is it in my target market? Or is it the right languages? Are they in the right currency? What pages are they viewing? All of that. So like 100,000 sessions could be bot traffic. And the goal is not to go jump into the Shopify app ecosystem and say, oh, I'm going to go get an app and it's going to. So great. There are plenty of apps that will help you get sales, but you are not at that stage yet. Understand the 100,000 sessions first. Understand the problem before you go. Again, if you were an electrician, you'd go and diagnose the problem first, and then you'd go to your service van and go, I need this tool and this tool and this tool. I don't bring in the entire service van and then start diagnosing. So find the problem first. Find the problem first. Cool. Okay, on to the next one. Jay Butler 1. We've updated our Shopify storefront to look more appealing, and since then we've gotten at least 3 fraudulent charges per week. That's a lot. How do we prevent this and actually attract real customers? Okay, something's fishy is going on. Great. So I'm not going to put on my tinfoil hat, but that is weird. Updating your storefront doesn't magically attract a bunch of fraud. Doesn't work like that. There's no like, hey, they updated their store, let's go hit them with a bunch of chargebacks. That's not the case. It could be any number of reasons. It could be competitors screwing with you. It can be actually fraud. It could be a whole bunch of things. I would look at those individual fraud cases not as a whole. Typically what you can do is limit your shipping options, going, is all that fraud coming from the country of origin? So like if you're in the States, or if you're in Canada, or if you're in the EU, like, are you selling to places that are like low trust? I would be looking at each one of those fraud charges on an individual basis. If there is no connection to them, technically there is nothing you can do to prevent someone. If they meet the criteria of purchasing your product, so they're in the right location and they've got their shipping address there and it's an active credit card and there's like a whole bunch of stuff, absolutely. The Shopify is going to let that payment go through unless there's something funny on the back end where they've already spotted a bunch of fraudulent charges. You won't even, great. There is an at-risk section in the back of Shopify where you can like look into the orders. I would start slowing down your delivery. I would start like in terms of your fulfillment, like I wouldn't be doing same day shipping and then having the chargeback happen. I would make sure that stuff goes through. But I would be looking at each one of these fraud charges on an individual basis and looking at them. I'd also have a call with your bank. I'd also have a call with your Shopify, one of your if you have a Shopify rep. If you're getting 3 per week, depending on the size of the store, yeah, I would be like, this is like not like raising red alarm, but like I would get on this. Sooner than later. So yeah, call your bank, your banking provider, make sure that's good. I would talk to an actual Shopify rep, going, why did this magically happen? If I can pinpoint a point in time, I don't have any knowledge around an updating a storefront or updating a theme would have to do with attracting chargebacks or fraud. I can't find any correlation there, but I would absolutely talk to an internal person at Shopify for that for sure. And then you can't actually prevent this. So you can narrow down your, so great, if you're gonna offer shipping to all of the United States, you're gonna potentially get fraud from everywhere. I would narrow that down, especially if you're advertising going, where do I want to sell to the most? And I would just keep it there. There are a lot of places where I live where it's like, great, we don't ship there. We don't ship there. Well, then I can't get an order for there, I can't get a chargeback from there, but I don't ship to Northern Canada. I don't do that. Even I might be missing out on this much little revenue, but I don't ship there because it's a total pain in the butt. So I would try to isolate where the fraud's coming from in terms of location, if it's tied to some specific products, size of products, things like that. I would need to know a little bit more information here to give you some better suggestions here, but I don't think it's caused to updating your storefront. Cool. Another question. Cool. It's from Stacy Jordan. I'm getting traffic from Facebook, TikTok, etc., but not getting click-through on my site, getting sales from other avenues, but I need better conversion based on session information. Great. So you were just asking, great, social traffic converts. Cool. So you're getting traffic from Facebook. You're getting traffic. Okay, you're getting traffic from socials. Great. So you're producing social media content. It's going out there. People are seeing it. You're gonna get, again, I mentioned this in a previous, 2 previous questions ago. You're gonna get a lot of people that just make a mistake. They click the button. They didn't mean to click the button. They were browsing. I have never. I don't want to say that I'm average, but when I'm on social media, I don't have my credit card in my other hand. I don't go like, oh, I saw that thing, I need it now. Typically, you need many, many, many more touch points for someone to actually buy. So the discovery channels you're using, so Facebook and TikTok, people are learning about your brand. They're just seeing it for the first time. Cool. There are specific tools that allow you to retarget those individuals that have made a positive action on your site. So if you visited the site and you're legitimate and you've been on the site for a minute, cool. I want to retarget you with ads. I want to follow you around. You've probably seen this in your own internet experiences where it's like, hey, I was looking at a thing and then now like I'm on a different website and I'm on a different platform and I'm still getting ads for like, I went on a sauna website once and now I get sauna ads everywhere I go. Great. They know that I'm going to need more touch points than one to make my decision. And I'm probably not in the right frame of mind in that exact moment, in the first moment, to pull out my credit card and buy now. So you're going to have multiple touch points. And it's very, very rare that someone's going to buy touch point 1. Like, great, they happen, very rare. That's not where we aim for. There's a bunch of it's dependent on industry and product size and complexity and price. Normally you're looking for like between 7 and 11 touch points before someone's pulling out their credit card, depending on complexity and value. Great. So I don't know what you sell, but like there's a lot that goes into that. But yeah, there's great retargeting tools through Facebook. There's great Meta. There's great retargeting tools through Google. So if you are getting good traffic, I need to go back to them over and over and over again. That's that. That will help with conversion, but you're not going to have good. That's not a fair metric to judge things off of. Is am I getting good conversion rates on touch point 1? It'll be terrible. It'll be the worst. Your worst conversion rates will be on touch point 1, like guaranteed. Yeah. So great, understanding where they come from, understanding what they're looking at, and then retargeting them. It would be the best thing to do. And then you're going to collect way, way more information around are they actually interacting with those ads? How much more data can I get from the platform? What stuff are they viewing? What stuff are they not viewing? Where do they get stuck in the process? I can edit a whole bunch of stuff. So that's where I would start there. Give me a second here. Yeah, good question. Good question though. Retargeting, and more touch points. Is essentially the answer. Let's refresh some stuff. This one was a fairly light AMA. We didn't get too many more questions than that, which is totally fine. What I'm going to do now, we're going to upload all of this stuff in. We'll have the video answers uploaded. No problem. If you do want to get in touch with me, I'll throw I hang out on LinkedIn. If you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, that's where I am. Throw that in chat there. Awesome. Otherwise, the name is on the screen. I'm going to connect with our friends over at Shopify for putting these together around new topics for, I think our next one is until June or August. We take a small pause in the summer because I know people like to actually enjoy life a little bit. We have one in June and I think we skip July. So the next one in June is the Growing Your Email List. It is on June 23rd, 11 a.m. You'll all get an announcement and everything through email like you did with this one. But until then, best of luck with your businesses and we will see you soon.